What if I told you a man survived 2 atomic bombs and lived to tell the tale? These aren't stories from fiction. These are the real jaw-dropping coincidences that history almost forgot. On the 6th of August, 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima on a business trip. As he stepped off a tram, the sky exploded into white fire. He survived the atomic bomb, burned and injured, and returned home to Nagasaki only to face another atomic blast 3 days later. Miraculously, Yamaguchi survived both bombings. He lived to the age of 93, raised a family, and became a symbol of peace. Statistically, surviving even 1 atomic bomb is rare, but 2? In separate cities? It's the kind of coincidence that sounds made up, yet it happened, and it reminds us how fragile and strange the threads of fate really are. In Ohio, 2 identical twins were separated at birth and adopted by different families. Neither knew the other existed, but both were named James. Both grew up to become police officers. Both married women named Linda, divorced, then remarried women named Betty. They each named their sons James Al. When they finally met at age 39, their lives had mirrored each other in eerie, almost scripted ways. Coincidence? Genetics? Or something more mysterious guiding their choices? These aren't just quirks, they're life events shaped by invisible symmetry. The Jim twins baffled scientists and thrilled believers in fate. In 1930s Detroit, a baby fell from a second-story window and landed on a man named Joseph Figlock, who just happened to be walking below. The man broke the child's fall and saved its life. A year later, another baby from the same building fell from the same window and landed on the same man. Joseph caught the second baby too. He wasn't hurt either time. What are the odds of being in the exact right spot? Twisto saved 2 different children. It's the kind of story that turns ordinary people into urban legends. During the construction of the Hoover Dam, the first recorded death was a man named J.G. Tierney. He drowned while surveying the site on the 20th of December, 1922. Exactly 13 years later, on the same day, the last recorded death was his son, Patrick Tierney, who also drowned. 2 generations, same fate, same place, same day. Hoover Dam is a monument to human engineering, but the Tierney story is a chilling reminder that nature and numbers sometimes echo themselves in cruel, uncanny ways. A Confederate soldier named Henry Zigland ended a relationship with a woman who took her own life in despair. Her brother, furious, hunted Henry down and shot him, or so he thought. The bullet grazed Henry's face and lodged in a tree. Years later, Henry tried to cut down that same tree using dynamite. The explosion sent the old bullet flying into his head. This time, it was fatal. It's as if fate had been waiting, patiently, for the perfect moment to finish what it started. The bullet took years to find its mark, but it did. Edgar Allan Poe wrote a novel in 1838 called The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket. In it, shipwrecked survivors draw lots to decide who will be eaten to stay alive. The unlucky man was named Richard Parker. 46 years later, a real ship named the Mignonette sank. The survivors, starving, did the unthinkable. They ate the cabin boy. His name? Richard Parker. Poe's fictional nightmare came true with unsettling accuracy. Was it a coincidence, or did the story somehow shape reality? In 1895, in all of Ohio, there were only 2 cars. Just 2. And somehow, they managed to crash into each other. The odds of 2 lone cars in an entire state meeting, let alone colliding, seem astronomically low. Yet it happened. It's one of those moments that sounds like a joke, but it's a documented truth. A mechanical fender bender, before traffic was even a thing. The accident shows that even in a world of wide open space, destiny sometimes wants a show. In 1898, author Morgan Robertson wrote a novella titled Futility about a massive, unsinkable ship called the Titan that hits an iceberg in April and sinks. 14 years later, the real Titanic, nearly identical in design and fate, met the same icy end. The book had eerily accurate details. Lack of lifeboats, the luxury class divide, even the route. Robertson claimed it was just imagination, but readers after 1912 saw something else. Prophecy. Coincidence? Maybe. But it blurs the line between fiction and foresight. Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy lived nearly a century apart, but their lives are filled with parallels. Both were elected to Congress in years ending in 46, and to the presidency in years ending in 60. Both were succeeded by men named Johnson, born in 08. Both were shot in the head on a Friday, in the presence of their wives. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. These aren't just trivia, they're eerie echoes across time. Historians might call it coincidence. Others hear something more, like history repeating. In 1883, a man named Henry Ziegland dodged a bullet once, but not everyone so lucky. In 2012, a young man was celebrating New Year's Eve in Los Angeles when a bullet fell from the sky and struck him in the head. It had been fired miles away into the air, celebratory gunfire. The shooter never knew what happened. It's a deadly lesson that even random acts can have horrifying consequences. A bullet, once fired, doesn't forget physics. Coincidence is one thing. This was tragedy disguised as chance. During World War I, two brothers from Ireland were drafted separately and sent to fight. Neither knew where the other was. In the chaos of trench warfare, one was injured and collapsed unconscious. When he awoke, a medic was leaning over him. It was his brother. Against all odds, they had met on a battlefield thousands of miles from home, not knowing the other would even be there. It was the first time they'd seen each other in years. Some say war tears families apart. In this case, it brought them back together. Roy Sullivan was a park ranger in Virginia who holds a bizarre world record. He was struck by lightning 7 times and survived every one. His odds of being hit once were already slim, but 7? Scientists estimated the odds at 1 in 10 septillion. Roy became a living magnet for nature's wrath. Though he claimed he never sought storms out, they just found him. His life became a walking paradox. A man too unlucky to avoid lightning, but too lucky to die from it. In Bulgaria, in 2009, the National Lottery drew the exact same 6 numbers in 2 consecutive games: 4, 15, 23, 24, 35, 42. The odds? Over 1 in 4 million. Conspiracy theories exploded, but no wrongdoing was ever proven. Some saw it as proof of patterns in chaos. Others shrugged it off. But deep down, we all wonder, is randomness truly random? Or is it just order we haven't yet understood? In 2014, a Reddit user posted a wild prediction about Donald Trump becoming president. It was detailed, improbable, and made years before Trump even ran. When Trump actually won in 2016, people flocked back to the post. Was it a troll, a guess, or something stranger? The original account was deleted, but internet sleuths kept the screenshots. Some called it a prank. Others whispered the word time traveler. Sometimes, the truth doesn't matter, just the timing. A man in England bought a used book from a store. Inside it was an old photo of a boy in a school uniform. Curious, he posted it online, asking if anyone recognized it. Within hours, someone did. It was his own brother, lost and adopted decades ago. The photo had somehow traveled through time and hands and shelves, waiting to be found by the one person who'd know. Coincidence? Destiny? It depends who's asking. In Italy, a man was nearly killed when a wall collapsed during an earthquake. Moments earlier, he'd stepped outside to answer a wrong number phone call. The caller never identified themselves. No one knows who it was. But had that person not dialed by mistake, the man would have been crushed. The phone call saved his life. One accidental button press, one breath of time, it changed everything. Life is full of patterns, whispers, and strange echoes. These stories remind us that the universe may be far more connected than we understand. Whether it's fate, chance, or something in between, who knows what coincidence might come next? Thanks for listening. If these stories fascinated you as much as they did me, hit like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who loves a good mystery. I'll see you in the next one. And who knows, maybe your own unbelievable story is already unfolding. Until then, stay curious.